It's funny, isn't it? What we accept passively. Just roll over, put your legs in the air, and get your belly tickled. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm going to pop back in for another half hour before I depart for some golf this afternoon. Um, and this video is entitled, "What are we going to accept as the new normal?" Are you going to accept the new normal? Um, what is the new normal? Within the schools, within the shopping, within the workplace, more lockdown on freedoms and liberty. What are you going to accept as the new normal, ladies and gentlemen? That's the big question for me. And another question I have is, do you remember who you all are? Do you? Do you truly remember who you really are? Answers on a postcard. Who remembers? Do you remember who you are? Or are we all just going to act like drones now? We're just going to walk around like autonomous drones. You can walk here, you can't walk there. Your kids have to do this, you have to do that. You can't have a car. Now, a friend of mine, Eddie Powell, bless his heart, he's a local councillor, and even he's erring on the side of, are we turning into a communist country? Yeah, I've seen that video of their flats in Australia. Poor guy's been stuck in his flat for 7 days, can't go out. But the dog, the woman walking the dog can, however, she can disappear out. Don't make no sense. This is all about infringement of liberties. When did we casually accept men with big guns as normal? Do you remember? Do you remember who you are, ladies and gentlemen? Do you? Do you know how to touch your soul? Does your soul yearn? Does your soul yearn for freedom? Does it? Or do you passively accept what the world has to offer now as some kind of trade-off for your freedoms? Hello, young man. He's not out shopping for the greater good, mate. Loving your content, let me tell you, by the way. I'm off to golf in a little while. Throughout all of this nonsense, lockdown, whatever it is you want to call it, I've paid no attention to it, all right? I don't see this any worse than the common flu every year and pneumonia. But what I have seen is lots of draconian measures just conveniently slipped into place, like your shopping centres and the schools and where you go do your food shopping and the buses and the trains. Is that going back to any kind of sanity anytime soon? I'm not too sure that it is. But the point I'm trying to make is, what are you going to accept? How low do we have to go? How depraved do things have to get before you realise who you are? Before you realise that you've lost all your freedoms and that we've actually turned into a communistic country. It's hard to believe, isn't it? We talk like this. Very hard to believe that I myself find myself. Now, listen, I went to a school many years ago in South East London called Haberdasher Aske's. I graduated there from primary school because I breezed through school. I was quite clever. I had a very fast brain and I didn't really do too much. And then I found myself in this grammar school. Luckily, me teachers never bent me over and fucked me. One did try, actually, when I was in a drum lesson. He said to me, come and sit on his lap, and I threw my drumsticks at him. And I told him if he touched me, I was going to stab him, because I grew up in South East London, a bit ghetto-y, you know. And he backed off, never went drum lessons after that. So we know that all this stuff goes on. We know that it all goes on. Burger King seem to be operating a juice menu free. No Angus burgers. I don't eat that stuff, man. No, none of that passes my lips, I'm afraid. So, when I was at school, my friends that I knocked about with, I was only interested really in music at the time and girls, strangely enough. More interested in chatting the girls up down the road at my local girls' school. And a lot of my friends were very political and I had no time whatsoever for it. And I mean no time. A lot of my friends were writing in their exercise books, Trotsky, Lenin, and I'm just like, do you love socialism? I can't stand socialism. Socialism's like fascism. That's it. Adolf Hitler was a national socialist. Social clubs, socialism. Jeremy Corbyn, he loves national socialism. I detest national socialism. Now, the only difference between fascism and communism is fascism is one individual country beating its own people up, whereas communism's global. All right? It's a global takeover. When you look at the WHO, World Trade Organization, this, that, the other, this is global communism because we lost all our rights. But I'm just waiting for the kickback. All right. So when I was at school, I paid no attention to this. None at all. I had no time for it. I literally had no time for politics. I just wanted to live my life and have fun. That's where I was at. And just bob along the way until I left this mortal coil. But I found myself plunged in at the deep end quite a few years ago when two women in an Inland Revenue building, because I run my own thing, decided to throw big files at me. And I thought, do you know what? I don't like this. And they tried to lock me in a room. And I said, oh, this is interesting, isn't it? What we got for dinner? I said, because I like a little bit of steak. Put some cayenne sauce on it, some mushroom pepper sauce, be lovely. And they were scorning at me. And I said, don't look at me like I'm a piece of shit that you just scraped off your shoe. And anyway, I walked out of that office and I said, you know what? When I figure out what it is, the mechanisms and the levers that you use to control people, I'm going to fuck you like that. I told them that. I told them and they just looked at me and goes, yeah, whatever. I'm like, no, make my fucking words. Never forget my words. I will fuck you lot up. Because you pissed off a good Christian boy here today. And rather than me just passively accepting what they've done, I started digging and started to think, what's going on here? And ever since then, I have made it my life's mission to be free, to tell all Her Majesty's courts to fuck off. And I've done it in very spectacular style, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. And I had threats of prison and the bully boys in uniform were going to come round and rape me. And I went, do you know what? I'll take my fucking chances. 7 years later, that's 7 year itch. No one's been. So that's the route that I went down. And I just wonder, are you going to accept the new normal? Okay. Or are you going to resist it? You're just going to roll over. Are you just going to roll over and let these draconian measures, let your school, your children, your property, are you just going to accept this totalitarian tiptoe? Because if you think for 1 minute that these grandioso measures that they're taking to make sure that we're all safe are going away anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, you are mistaken. All the shopping centres, you're going to have to walk all the same way around the shopping centre for many years to come. This is a new normal you've inherited. But there are some very gorgeous people around the world trying now to make a difference, to stand in the light, to stand in the kingdom that we all inherited and say, you know what, we're not having this. Now, that's why I encourage most people to get over to Earth United, okay? Earth United, let me get you the website. You're going to enjoy this. And this is a collaboration for us all finally, at last, to start coming together. Regardless of our political sways, our personal opinions, we all just come together. And their mission statement is we need to unify our forces in order to create a global support ecosystem that can help us finally put an end to global tyranny and corruption. Now, I say, yes, please. Yes, please. Now, how are we doing this? Well, we're going after the constructive fraud and the unlawful conversion of us as people and placed into a slavery-based system. Now, we truly do not own any equity. We have no equitable standing whatsoever because we are all declared dead, lost at sea. Orion's Green Isle. Oh, lovely. Top of the morning to you. I'll have a Guinness. Don't mind if I do. Man can't own his children. Man can't own his car. Man can't own his home. Or woman. They can always levy you. The government can levy you. They take your car off you. They take your kids off you. All these things are your property, your equity, which in God's kingdom you have equitable title over. But because we're now in global communism, there's always someone out there wanting to take your car, take your kids. You split a fingernail, they take your kids. Kid gets a bruise. My mate, she put her kid in a seatbelt, car seatbelt, and the kid had some reaction and some lumps come up. Next thing, social services, the child stealers, the kiddie snatchers, we want to take. Now, personally, I want to see all of the people in the system rounded up and put on trial. I want to see them all rounded up and have to answer for their actions against us, God's people. I really do. Like, you've not got no idea. I really want to see them all rounded up and they all are held absolutely accountable as individuals, men and women, for the crimes that they've been committing against us, their very brothers and sisters of this country. That's what I want to see, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see them all. I don't want to hurt them. Prison, sure. Loss of liberty, sure. Loss of property, bloody damn straight. The amount of anguish and evilness that they've lambasted upon us over the last 40 years since we've been in this European Union is untangible. It is unquantifiable. They have become a very evil, wicked, despotic force. I hope you can see it. But my question is, are you going to accept the new normal? Are you going to accept the fact that this guy in Australia, who hasn't been outside his flat for a week, but his neighbour can walk a dog? Yeah, because the dog's got more rights than people. The dog has more rights than people, man. Let me tell you. Why? Because the dog's not signed up. The dog's not signed up to this corporate slavery system. That's why the dog has more rights than you guys and girls. Because we, many years ago, give up our natural rights for privileges. Everything you got in your life, your driver license, your mortgage, it's all a privilege. It's all a privilege from Mr. Rothschilds. Congratulations. Good for you. You got new specs looking sharp. These ones are a little bit, to be fair, Sonia, a little bit too strong for me. I've just ordered some new ones. But people say they make me look fine and dandy, but I'm not too sure. Guys, we can see through the veil now. We understand the system we live in, all right? Now, a very good friend of mine, Hannah Rose, lives in Bristol, studying a law degree. She came up to London quite a few years ago in her little green Beetle with her pink flowers all over it, the hippie that she is. And I love her dearly. She's a sweetheart. You can go and find her on Facebook and YouTube, Hannah Rose. She'll be finishing her law degree very soon, and she's now going to actively be taking a part in this New Earth project as well with us and Event 202, which is fantastic as well. You might want to go and look at Event 202, which you can find on Facebook and YouTube. Just type into Google and find Event 202. Well, she deregistered her Beetle, and many years ago she got arrested. And the very next morning, her car was outside. They give her the keys. They couldn't take it off of her. Why? Because it wasn't registered. It was deregistered, and DVLA had never had a claim over it. So, people, we will win. We really will win. You like my glasses? So we will win. We're going to win. Why? Because we've got God's stuff on our side, and the light always beats the darkness, right? You do know that the light always wins every single time. I've proved it. I've walked through the fire. I've told Her Majesty's courts and revenues to fuck off. I'm still free. Yeah, because I walked through the fire. I thought to myself, I'm not your corporate piece of paper. I'm not that title. The Bible tells us all about titles, that titles are only for the ego man. That's all they are. So when we lose all the titles and we lose the ego and we just stand as men and women and we realise the crime, the duping, the constructive fraud and the unlawful conversion of us that come into God's kingdom, into this satanic dark paper system. Government only exists on paper, ladies and gentlemen. So what are you going to tolerate? How much are you going to tolerate? Are you going to tolerate complete loss of liberty, loss of rights, loss of freedom? Are you quite prepared to trade and gamble that all up for privileges? How did she deregister her car? Do you know? She just deregistered it. You can deregister your car. You can. That's what she did. They couldn't take her car. She come out of the police cell the next day, and her car was sat at the front, and ain't gone to the crusher. Remember, the DVLA have a legal right to take your car, but they don't have a lawful right. Don't have a lawful right. So we need to get back to God's jurisdiction. We need to come out of this constructive fraud and unlawful conversion. And I can see it happening, actually. I can see it happening because I know for a fact that the men and women of our country and around the world are gorgeous people, but we just have dark ones ruling over us. And I know that we're in the age of Aquarius, and I know that in the cosmology of things, that the magnetic frequency of this planet is rising up, and what happens is it's tuning you lot in, and it's lightening your hearts, and then you're understanding what's really going on. So we are going into a groovy time period. Trust me, and that's what the Mayans predicted. The Mayans predicted an apocalypse doesn't mean the end of the world. It means illumination. It means the proper definition of an apocalypse is not devastation. It is the change. It's a beautiful thing. So you should want it. And we're all figuring it out. We've all figured out that we've all been unlawfully converted into a dark system. Now you can stay safe in your privileges and benefits if that's what you wish. But we now have a situation where the public servants are beating the Jesus out of us for not having a certain piece of paper on our car, on our home, on our children. They take our children at gunpoint. They take our cars at gunpoint. They are communists, fascists, Leninists, slut buckets. And we can't really tolerate that because this country was never, ever founded on that ethos. Never at all. So what are you going to tolerate? How much are you going to tolerate before you get kicked back? Now, I'm pretty sure this guy sat in his flat is not allowed out because he's got guys and girls with goons with guns stopping him from leaving his flat. I'm pretty sure right now he's sat there feeling, I think we fucked up a bit. What's gone on? No man or woman should be stopped from going anywhere, regardless. There is no excuse for stopping a man or a woman from going wherever it is that they wish. No excuse. And it's all being done for the greater good, to keep everybody safe, remember. We're just keeping you safe. That's why we're bringing out the vaccines. That's why we've got cameras on every street corner, just to keep you all safe. Somewhere, I think there's a dastardly plan to fuck us all up. Call me old-fashioned. That's just the way it is. Oh, they're getting big now. They're getting so solid. I'm working out, man. I'm enjoying the time I'm having. Live feed gone. Hello. No, my live feed's still on. The Earth. I'm still here. Let me just have a comment up. I'm still here. Whoop. Hacky Therapy. Hello, Hack Therapy. Is it your first time? If it is, please consider liking, subscribing, and pressing the bell button for future notifications. I think we're in the Bible era where the Bible says there's nothing has been done in darkness that won't be brought out into light. Amen. Oh, let me tell you, this is for the greater good on a different channel. Mate, I'm not too sure why you couldn't tune in then, for sure. I really don't. We'll have to do a show at some point for the greater good. We'll pull you in. I'll get you on my Streamcast. I can bring guests in there. I'll just send you the link. If you want to download StreamYard, you can get 20 hours a month. Let me just StreamYard. Just jump on StreamYard and I can pull you in, and we'll have a gig, man. We'll have a little hour session. Why not? It's all a load of balls. They can stick where the sun don't shine. Yeah, but there's men and women with guns in Australia now, with all the lead-lined gloves on, with all their weapons of war, anal beads, mace spray, cuffs, chips, dips, guns, bullets. Yeah, man. I wonder if they've got them star things, them flying stars that stick into people like ninjas use, and that puffing powder, and they just disappear. People going out of their flats now. They're saying, no, you ain't. That's tyranny. Sorry, you can dress it. You can make all the excuses you like under the sun. Oh, it's all for your own good. There's a killer virus going on. Ninja stars. Exactly. There's all this going on. Fuck it. No, listen, people. Boil it down to the simple truths. That's a tyranny. No man and woman should ever put a weapon on and be able to stop you to do anything you like, even at your own. It's your choice, right? Whether you catch corona or not. Is it not? Is it not your choice? Oh, you can't go out. The boogeyman's out there. This coronavirus is out there. It's going to kill you. We're only doing this to keep you safe. I'm pretty sure that guy is probably thinking, fuck it, I'm just going to jump out the window of my flat now. What's the point? Can't go out. The dog can go out. Can you imagine standing there and seeing some fucking pooch walk out, going for a little shit, turning around and smirking at you, going, see you, sucker. I've got more rights than you. You're just a man or a woman. You're a scumbag. You've got no rights. You beg for privileges. I will never beg for privileges. Boris Johnson, Matt Hancock, they can all kiss my fucking arse cheeks. Every single one. I'll bend over. Let them. They can blow right up it if they like. Because they think that they've got UK corporations stamped on both my butt cheeks. Well, they can do one. Sorry. Don't like my words. I can't apologise. Their actions are far worse than this. This is just all you will all see that all the 5G's been installed in the schools and out on the streets. And boy, when they turn that stuff on, you're going to see a lot of people that are dropping their cancer. My God, you are going to see cancer go like you've got no tomorrow. So you're seeing all the shopping centres change their gig. They're monitoring everyone everywhere they go. No cash, no more. They're trying to wait. So when you weigh up the pros and cons of this coronavirus and all the stuff they're doing to change the infrastructure, it's very organised and very orchestrated, ladies and gentlemen. Because if this coronavirus truly caught them all out, do you know how long it takes government to decide on something? They're a bunch of losers. So this has all been pre-planned. And pre-planned by who? All the corporations. All the corporations with the 5G, these businessmen and women, they're the ones that are doing this cashless society, liaising with the banking sector to bring in a communist global agenda. It's got nothing to do with a fucking virus. This is an agenda-based virus, all right? And the agenda is cashless, 5G. You will not be able to buy or sell unless you receive the mark. They can kiss my ass cheeks. Ain't happening. I'd rather starve to fucking death than go and beg to any of these sycophants. So that's my rant for this afternoon even, because I'm just about to go and get ready for golf now. But like, guys, make no bones about it. What are you going to accept? Are you going to accept this normal? Or are you going to push back? You're going to push back? What are you going to do? Or are you just going to roll over as per normal and take all of what these councillors and these so-called government that care so much about you, they fucking love you lot, let me tell you. They love you so much, they consider you goyim, slaves. That's how much they love you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, well, I'm not having it. Oh, Giz Maxwell, has she been suicided yet? Apparently, she's been really spilling the beans on all sorts. Prince Andrew apparently is right in the hot seat. But we'll see. I consider all that just to be bread and circuses, ladies and gentlemen. When you consider what it's coinciding with the time period we're in, they just like to keep us all confused with bread and circuses. I'm sure Jeffrey Epstein sat on a beach somewhere listening to Barry fucking Manilow sucking on a pina colada. I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, maybe got a brass rolling a bit of cocaine up his trouser leg. Who knows? That's just what I reckon. I personally don't think he's dead. I think it's all a load of bollocks. I think it's complete bread and fucking circuses, because that's all the media has ever been. It's about confusion. They don't want you to understand the real truths, simple truths. They don't want you knowing that. That's why the media is such drivel. That's why it's such lies and bollocks. So personally, I think it's just bread and circuses. Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, Whoopi Goldberg, all these others that are, they're doing this and that. We'll wait and see, eh? We shall wait and see. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, keep your feet on the ground, all right? David Bowie. Yeah, David Bowie died, apparently. He released an album just before he died, bless him, called Black Star. And on there is a track called Lazarus. Funny that, Lazarus rising from the dead. They take the piss, peeps. Listen, they're taking the piss out of every single one of us. And they're getting away with it because we don't know any difference. But it is all bread and circuses, let me tell you. The whole fucking shebang. So we just need to unify now, come together, forget their bread and circuses, and come back to the real world where we can sort this shit out. All right? So, peeps, I love you all. I'm going to go and get myself toasted up and teased up for me golf this afternoon. Have blessed days, and I will be back to you in the next day or two. Have fun.